Hi guys, welcome back to Daisy Chain Principles. My name is Livy and I'm so glad you're here. Today we will be talking about organization. I love this topic. I love all things that have to do with organization. I'm very type A. However, I feel like getting organized is very exciting, but then staying organized is a whole different thing. So today I'm going to be sharing how I got organized and how I have managed to maintain it for almost 3 years now, being on year 6 of homeschooling. I'll be going over both like how I keep physical items organized and how I keep records organized, because I do keep records of my kids' progress as well. So if you are tired of shuffling through the papers and trash and crafts and activities and you want something that sticks, this is the video for you. So a little bit about my history with homeschooling. First, I lived in a 3-bedroom, itty bitty 1,000 square foot house, and we had an armoire in the living room, and I just kind of shoved all of my oldest child's homeschool materials onto one shelf in that armoire, and it wasn't functional. And I would go so far as to say that being disorganized made me dread homeschooling. Like, it actually contributed to a stressful, dysfunctional homeschool day. A couple years later, my now ex-husband and I moved into a bigger house, and we dedicated the basement to homeschooling, and having that space helped, but I still struggled a little bit with it. Fast forward another year, I got divorced. I moved into an 800 square foot apartment where I still am today, and we are more organized, more functional, more smooth than ever. And it came down to necessity. I am busier than I have ever been, with less time and less space than I have ever had. And out of necessity, I have created an excellent system. Here is how I do it. First, and if you have been watching YouTube videos from other homeschool parents, you've probably seen this trending, but we do use rolling carts. I have one, and each of my children each have their own individual carts. This is strictly for daily used homeschool items, okay? I have a ton of homeschool supplies, you guys. I have flashcards, curriculum, arts and crafts projects, sensory toys, puzzles, games, you name it. You don't want to start trying to put everything into these carts. You want to be disciplined and have a really strict structure for them. So this is strictly for the things we use every day, 4 days a week, because we do a 4-day-a-week homeschool week, which is for a different video and different topic. But anyway, the carts are obviously very convenient. They are on rollers, and so we can do school in my bedroom, in the living room, in the kitchen, and just bring their whole homeschool day with them, easy peasy. On top of that, I love them because it makes the children responsible for their own materials. My kids get their own subjects out, they put their own subjects back. That is more of a weight off my shoulder than it sounds like, to be honest. The fact that I just have to say it's reading time, it's math time, and the only thing I have to worry about is getting my planner out and maybe the teacher answer key if I need it, and they know where all their stuff is, their pencils are, it's just ready to go for the day. And when school is dismissed, they have to put it back exactly the same as they found it. The cards are also just a lot of fun because you can add personalization to them. An idea is to let your kids, paint the cart or add stickers. We haven't thought to do that yet, but I think it's a cute idea. But you can tell, like, because I have a girl and a boy, which one is the girl's cart and the boy's cart, because he has like green and blue pencils and containers, and she has more peach and purple and pink. They love getting to have more kind of personalized homeschool items and school supplies, and then that kind of makes the cart pop as well. So kids respond really positively to a sense of ownership in homeschooling, things that they created themselves, things that belong to just them, and the homeschool carts just add to that. Something that I think contributes hugely to staying so organized is the fact that I use open and go curriculum. I have tried many different curriculums, and make no mistake, there are other curriculums out there just as good as the ones I use, but I landed on the ones I landed on for a reason. They are open and go, but at the same time, they are not so simple, so plain, so open and go, and so text-based that it is uninteresting to the child. I knew that we needed something in between, something that had activities and color and splash, and something that was of interest to the child and could keep them engaged, but also didn't really demand any prep time from me. So one, we do a lot of read aloud, which is super simple because we are just reading the next chapter in whatever book we're in, and that tends to cover most history, geography, science, and Bible. The kids have bins full of sensory toys that they are allowed to use while I'm reading to them. Then we go into individual subjects. We use handwriting without tears, which is completely open and go, and there really is no tears, and it really does work phenomenally for handwriting. There's absolutely no prep work from me for it required. Next, we use All About Reading. I love this program. I am so hardcore with this program. Both of my kids are going to do all the different levels. We've had so much success and results with it. But what I love about it as far as organization goes is that they are constantly changing up the activities to keep it interesting for an easily distracted child. But the activities are dead simple if you don't have a lot of prep time. Most of the activities are actually just cutouts or they're flashcards that are prepared in advance. It is a really, really great in between open and go and having to prep. And lastly, we use math lessons for a living education. Partly I wanted this because it is Bible-based and faith-based, and I love that. It also has some Charlotte Mason, being focused on nature and story, but it is very open and go. For the most part, the kids just have to grab their math books and a pencil. It does have activities, but I love the activities. One, they're optional. And two, they are typically only demanding items that you can find around the house, like paper clips, markers, glue, all the things that I already have stored in our arts and crafts boxes. I might have to run to the Dollar Tree for one or two things, but typically the author is very mindful of making the crafts simple for the parent and engaging for the child. Three, I record as I go. I do not have a set day of the week, month, quarter that I catch up on records. That is sure to set you up for failure. I record and I file things away immediately, sometimes even as we are teaching the lesson. It's the only way I can keep up on it. And honestly, for me, I find that if I'm not doing that, I'm probably just making excuses, because all in all, at the end of the school day, it probably only takes me about 5 minutes to have everything recorded and filed. Here is how I keep homeschool records. Keep in mind, every state has different laws for records. We are absolutely not required to keep records of any sort where I live. It is just my personal preference for accountability. I use a regular planner, and every day I write just the initials for the lesson and the curriculum that they did, and then I highlight it according to topic. So yellow is poetry, pink is science, green is Bible, blue is math, purple is language arts, etc. I've found that tracking is an incredible accountability system for myself to look back on and make sure we are hitting all our homeschool days. So for example, if my son does a lesson in All About Reading, level 3, lesson 15, then I'm going to write a square because that is my symbol for him as opposed to my daughter. Then I'm going to write AAR 3 for All About Reading 3. I'm going to write LESS 15 for lesson 15, and in parentheses I'm going to put how long he spent on it. Then I'm going to highlight it in purple because that means it's language arts. It sounds complicated, I know, but really it just takes a few seconds to record it, and I got used to it very quickly. I've tried several different ways of tracking school, and this is what works best. The other way that I record as I go is that I do have a binder system. Again, we're not required to keep their work. It is just my personal preference. If they have an open and go book that has no activities outside that book, then I'm going to write their name and the date on the actual paper that they did the work on. If they have some sort of art project or a cutout activity, maybe from All About Reading, I'm going to put it in a binder. Either I'm gonna maybe hole punch it, or I'm going to put it in a sheet protector and in their own labeled binders for safekeeping. Again, I don't wait to file things. I do not let papers stack. I am filing things as we go through our school day. And my fourth and final tip is to store upward, not outward. So when we store homeschool materials, it is easy to get like bins that sit on the floor, boxes that sit on the floor. Bookshelves are a must. If you will go vertical, you will save so much space and your homeschool room will look so much nicer. Now, I know that not all homeschool curriculum is aesthetically pleasing. That's why most of ours is actually in our carts. But for our read aloud books, for bins full of games and toys and arts and crafts materials, I am labeling things and putting it on the bookshelves. I cannot stress enough how much this will change how aesthetically pleasing your homeschool room is. My course, Homeschool Beauty, is available now if you want to go deeper into this particular topic of getting organized. And be sure to invest in a really nice label machine. This labeler is from my friend Marcy. She gifted it to me. I will link it in my Amazon store for you guys. And it sticks really, really well to the boxes and baskets on our shelf. Keep in mind that no matter how organized you are, things will end up where they do not belong, and you have to make time for decluttering. I do a major full-on reset once a year, usually in the summer before the new school year begins, but I try to do a soft reset where I just tidy up, wipe things down, make sure things are in their designated containers, stuff like that, about 4 times a year at the beginning of each quarter. There is a balance between the concept of getting more organized and having a better system, and then just simply cleaning. Like, you just have to clean stuff. You have to maintain that system for it to function well. Let me know below your best tips for keeping organized both records and physically keeping your materials organized in homeschooling. I am always looking to improve. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, you'll want to be sure to check out my free video class, Homeschooling Excellent Time Management. I've linked it below, and I'll be giving away the 3 primary ways that I am able to homeschool consistently as a single working parent. It's only 11 minutes long. Be sure to view it. I'll see you next time.